Good evening and welcome to the award-winning LEX 18 High School Sports Zone with my partner Alan Cutler. I'm Keith Farmer.
You know, we've both been around a long time.
Yeah, speak for yourself.
Thanks, pal. When you have power like Highlands and they are ahead, Highlands, for everybody else in the playoffs, most of the time they're done.
Yeah, this is a most unusual situation because both teams are defending state champs.
But Highlands, as you know and we know, their tradition is something that deserves national recognition.
30 years from now, they will be talking about what Pulaski County did in our high school football game of the week. And not quite the long shot that we just saw with Fermento, but War Story. Let's take a look at it. Horse number 16 in the Derby. If you're like me, you always like to see a horse that wins over the Churchill Downs dirt. Good news, War Story has done that in his career. Bad news, he did it in a maiden race back in November of 2014. After winning his first two races, War Story has had a tough time matching up with International Star. The Breeders' Cup Classic is now a field of 9 after Beholder had to scratch from the Saturday race at Keeneland. The 5-year-old mare arrived at Keeneland with a fever. After she had calmed that down, she was able to get back on the track, but trainer Richard Mandela says a scope done on Beholder this morning discovered that she had bled. Mandela says Beholder has some irritated lung issues, so she is out. With the defection, American Pharoah is now the 4-5 favorite. This morning, trainer Bob Baffert decided not to use the muddy main track at Keeneland, instead taking his colt to the polytrack training surface. It was a spirited gallop, and Baffert says Pharoah is happy and has been working well. It wasn't that long ago that no one would have guessed Smooth Roller would ever make the Breeders' Cup Classic. He's going from post 7 with 12-1 morning line odds. Alan Cutler has more. You know, just like you, we're sitting right here on the track in the final turn. I was able to turn around and watch, and I said, he's gone. You could tell he was just opening up, and Victor was just letting him run.
Absolutely. I was actually standing right on the railing, Keith. I wasn't here for the Derby. This is the first time I've seen American Pharoah run in person, and it gave me chills. This might be the greatest thing that I've ever seen in my career. Again, like Kevin said, we have a Grand Slam champion in horse racing. Here is how it was done. 3 former Cats are on the move on the NBA's trade deadline day. Tayshaun Prince is going back to Detroit from Boston. Enos Kanter has been sent from Utah to Oklahoma City. And Brandon Knight has been traded from Milwaukee to Phoenix. That means he'll be part of an all-UK backcourt with he and Eric Bledsoe. While another Cat, Archie Goodwin, comes off the bench for the Suns. The trade also affected Nerlens Noel, whose good friend and former AAU teammate Michael Carter-Williams leaves the Sixers for Milwaukee. The 10th-ranked UK Hoops team is at home tonight hosting 15th-rated Texas A&M, the 3rd straight game against a top 15 team. Now, the two teams are part of a 3-way tie for 4th place in the SEC standings. The Cats are 19-6 overall, 8-4 in the league, with 4 games remaining in the regular season. We are inside the Quicken Loans Arena where we saw an incredible game between Kentucky and Notre Dame. Last year we saw the Wildcats win several games on Aaron Harrison threes. This time his brother Andrew would play the hero. First half in this one, Kentucky and Notre Dame, Trey Lyles gets a tip in at the buzzer. That would tie it at 31 at the break. Second half, Aaron Harrison would hit a long three to finally give Kentucky a lead at 64-63. But Notre Dame's Jerian Grant would hit an equally long three at the shot clock buzzer to put Notre Dame back in front 66-64. Kentucky's Karl Anthony Towns had a career-high 25 points, his last 2 tying the game at 66. Notre Dame's next possession, Jerian Grant going for the lead, but Willie Cauley-Stein just gets a finger on it. Kentucky would have possession of the ball late in the game. Andrew Harrison fouled. He would hit both free throws to give Kentucky a 68-66 lead with 6 seconds remaining. One last chance for Notre Dame, and Grant takes the 3, but it will not go, and Kentucky hangs on to win by 2 to head to a Final Four for a 2nd straight season.
I'm too excited. I can't believe what just happened. I can't believe the journey I've been with so far with my brothers, and I can't wait to continue it next week.
It's great, you know. It's a lot of relief. You know, that was a hard-fought game. We came in messing around. We didn't play well today, so you know we got to get back on our feet and play.
What was going through your mind when you stepped to the line?
Don't miss. Got to make them. I'm tied up. Those are the times like you think of as a little kid.
Is that the way it turned out when you were a little kid?
Most of the time. A little less pressure.
Just excited, you know, happy, joyful. just wanted to go and grab somebody. So, it was just an exciting moment and a fun moment for all of us.
Losing today would have been like the biggest letdown, not only for us as a group, but our fan base, even the whole country. Like, it would have been a letdown if we didn't make it to the Final Four. I feel like losing in the Elite Eight would kill everybody, because everybody wants to see us losing in the Final Four or the championship. So, so getting there was a big relief for us, especially the way we didn't play very well tonight. We actually played probably one of the worst games we played, and to be able to come out on top is crazy.
It was nice to see Aaron do what Aaron does. Just a huge three. It was great to see Andrew play an okay game but make the plays down the stretch. It was great to see in the second half us able to throw at Carl Towns, and they either were scoring or you got to leave somebody, and then Tyler makes that three in the corner. But we were just fighting to stay in the game, to be honest with you, and it was nice to see how it finished for these kids.
So Kentucky now 38-0 and going back to a Final Four for a second straight season. This time, well, it'll take on the same opponent it did last year in the Final Four, Wisconsin, in Indianapolis on Saturday. Lafayette has everything.
A great line, as we all know, chock full of future major college starters and maybe stars.
That's right, and a quarterback that makes great plays.
Team speed, a coach who played the NFL.
But Simon Kenton, undefeated. Let's go to Simon Kenton, where Lafayette played first quarter, and Walker Wood, that quarterback we talked about, finds Quentin Brown for the touchdown, makes it 6-0 after a missed two-point conversion. Third quarter, Lafayette down 28-20. Walker Wood on the 20-yard keeper ties it at 28. To the third quarter later on, Walker Wood deep to Quentin Brown for the 82-yarder. Makes it 35-28 Generals. Fourth quarter. You got to get this guy in. Mason Alstat takes it in to secure the trip to the 6A finals. Lafayette wins 42-28. Depending on which recruiting service you're looking at, Harry Giles is one of the top 2 players in the class of 2016, and he's ready to make his announcement. The 6'10 forward has moved his date up to November 12th, and he will not make the announcement in his hometown of Winston-Salem. Not good news for Wake Forest. 24/7 Sports Crystal Ball has Giles picking Duke. Coach Cal is just worried about the current Cats, and they have one more dress rehearsal before the real season begins, hosting Kentucky State Friday at 6. Jamal Murray was 1 assist away from a triple-double, and he had fun.
It was fun, to have the kind of atmosphere we did, playing our first college game. It was a different experience, and it was blessed to be in position.
Were you nervous?
No, I've played in stages like this before.
No big deal.
It's not a big deal, but I had fun.
Alex Poitras was going to be on one of 3 regional Sports Illustrated covers this week, but the Kansas City Royals won the World Series, and that bumped Poitras to online only. Georgia coach Mark Richt has told his team not to listen to the noise. There are Georgia fans who aren't happy with Richt, and he doesn't want his team, who has lost 3 of 4, to let this get to them. Then you have 2 Georgia players who don't start that were busted on marijuana charges and are suspended for the Kentucky game. Alan Cutler takes the UK angle, as the Cats are also struggling. A week from today, Karl Anthony Towns will play his first Summer League game against the Lakers, the overall #1 pick already at work in Minnesota. Now, the Timberwolves selected Towns over Jahlil Okafor and believe he can immediately help turn things around for a team that hasn't been in the playoffs in 10 years. Towns is excited to be playing in the league, and he's looking forward to playing against the Spurs' Tim Duncan. He talked to the Timberwolves one-on-one about what he can bring to the team as soon as he steps on the floor.